America's football coach is busy this offseason with building the success that he and his team developed over the last season. In this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I speak exclusively with Coach Jamey Chadwell of Coastal Carolina. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Coach Jamey Chadwell, welcome back to the award-winning Quintin's Close-Ups.
I appreciate the opportunity. It's always good to be back with you, Quintin.
Oh, I appreciate it greatly. I'm on Twitter every day, and I'm seeing all of these awards. Jamey Chadwell named Walter Camp Coach of the Year. Jamey Chadwell, the AP Coach of the Year. Who is it like to be Jamey Chadwell these days?
Well, if you talk to my wife, it's terrible because she makes me do a bunch of stuff. But those rewards were just a reflection of our staff and our players and just the year they had, and it is awesome to have your name mentioned with all those top coaches, and so just a special season, and to be recognized for that is it's pretty awesome.
But then, what is the reflection of you as coach?
Well, I think, as the head coach, you're in charge of setting the vision. You're in charge of setting the vision for your program and laying the foundation and putting the principles down that you value. And then you've got to make sure that you hold everybody to that standard that you have. And so I think hopefully, by us winning and the things that, getting the recognition, it was more a recognition, hey, there's a vision, they've laid it in place, and their players and coaches have bought into believing in that.
What is your vision for the football team coming up in 2021, 2022?
Well, we had obviously a great year to build off of. And for me, it's about, can we get better? And what better means, doesn't mean you might have a better record. Being better is, can we be more disciplined? Can we do the little things right? Can we continue to grow as a team? I want us to be the very best that we can be. And hopefully that'd be great to be another championship and all these things. But it's really more about getting our young people continuing to buy into what we're about and build off of that. And can they find ways to get better in the areas that they can control?
And what are those little things that you want to get right this season?
Well, there's a lot of things as you go back and look, even though we had a tremendous season, that you can improve. And from like a football standpoint, it's getting stronger. It's getting, making better use of our hands, et cetera, little things. But really from a program standpoint, can we take our discipline to the next level? Can we continue to be a great teammate and take that to the next level and bring people along? And there's those little things that you want to continue to develop. And those are things that we're focusing on.
And obviously, you're going to be bringing back Grayson McCall as a person to be tagging along, because he's been named the most inspirational freshman of the year by the Football Writers Association of America. How did he inspire you last season?
Well, I think from him, just the way that he played, the way he competed, especially as a young person, he brought this team along. He rallied them where the offense and defense was behind him. They believed him. And I think that's what an inspiration is when you get behind somebody, you want to run through a wall for them, and you believe in what they're doing, and you raise your game up because they've raised their game up. And I think that's what he did.
Oh, that's amazing. And, the last time I spoke with you for Quintin's Close-Ups on that cold day in December, you basically said, hey, listen, the kids are hungry to win. What was that formula last year?
I think it came down to we had a chip on our shoulder. We played with an edge. We had a mentality that we had something to prove, that we felt like we were better than what people were giving us credit for. And so they were hungry to prove that. And then once we got some success, they loved how it tasted. And they wanted more of it. They wanted more of it. It's like that Snickers commercial, are you hungry, right? And
yes, sir.
You never want to be satisfied.
Right.
And they never got satisfied. And I think that was what was special about the year.
And are they satisfied right now, looking back to obviously last season?
I hope not. I hope we had an unbelievable year, but we didn't finish the way we want to. I hope they realize, hey, I can get better. And that's what it's got to be about. What happened last year, it doesn't matter. It's about, can we find ways to get better? And again, better, Quintin, doesn't mean you're going to have a better record. That'd be great if we did, but there's things that we can do better to help our chances become success. And that's everybody wants to go undefeated next year. Right. But who's willing to pay that price to get better? That's what we got to focus on.
And let me take you back to Orlando, because I know you told Gabe McDonald at WMBF up in Myrtle Beach that, listen, conversation pieces are going to go forth. What are those conversations now about the future of your football team?
Well, just, what I think the biggest challenge when you have success is, do you rest on it? And do you think just because I did it, it's automatically going to happen again? And so the conversation with your team is these next few weeks that we have together before the semester's up is going to determine what type of team we have. And we can either think we've arrived or we can continue on a journey. And as you know this, if you travel, arriving at your destination, great, but it's really about the journey that got you there. And so we're starting a complete new journey, and we have to forget about last year because that journey's over. It's finished. It's a new one. And who is willing to take the steps necessary on this journey to help make it a worthwhile journey?
And I know this might be a redundant question, but what steps are you taking right now with the first destination?
Well, what we do from a standpoint from coaching is we go back and look at last year and, hey, what did we do well? What did we not do well? And we're working on that now. We're finding out things that we did well, we didn't do as well, and trying to improve that from a coaching standpoint. And then from a player standpoint, we just started school today. And so now you're getting everybody in here. And now, hey, are we going to get off to the right start we need to from a standpoint academically and from a weightlifting, all those things? Are we still relying on what we did last year, or are we coming in with a great attitude of ready to go? And so that's what our focus has been.
And let me go back to WMBF, because they said this, obviously, in a historic season for Coastal Carolina has earned a chance at the number 14th national ranking in the final poll of the year by the Associated Press. And this might be another redundant question, Coach, but how did you improve on your stock?
Well, just, for us to be ranked one, to finish the season, we ended up being a top 10 team for an amount of time, and then to finish the season in the top 15 for our program that never even been ranked, never even been mentioned, I think is just a credit to our team and something that's a building point. Not that we're going to say, hey, let's go be a top 15 again, a team again, but something that gives us a great opportunity if we can take care of business to put ourselves in a position to really use that opportunity to really grow our program, and that's going to be our focus.
And I know the Chants wrapped up the year, as you mentioned, with an 11-1 record after failing to rival Liberty in the FB Mortgage Curveball on December 26th down in Orlando. It was the first FBC Mortgage Curveball to go overtime. But when in your mind did you realize, hey, Liberty is really a rival to us?
Well, I think we knew that, going in because it'd been one, for so long when we were in FCS. So we knew it was going to be a good challenge. We knew it was going to be a good game, and it went back and forth. I think every team had an opportunity to win it. Unfortunately, we didn't make a play there in the end, and they did. But I think it just will continue to motivate us to come out and want to go back and take care of business.
And you also told Gabe this too, quote, in life sometimes you can try to do everything right and work hard and do all of the things and make the sacrifices, and you just don't get what you want. What sacrifices did you all make last season?
Well, there was a lot, obviously from a standpoint of COVID and the things that our players had to give up, the things that our coaches had to give up just to have a season. And that's time with family. That's time with being a college student and making choices every day that other people didn't have to make, that you had to make to go out and try to play a game. And so they did a lot, the sacrifices that they made for us to be able to have a season and for them to be rewarded with the championship, a Sun Belt championship. And it was pretty special for them because of the sacrifices they had to make.
And I know you were rewarded with a contract extension, I believe, until 2027. You said this, quote, I appreciate the commitment and support from Dr. D. Senzo, obviously the past president of CCU, and now the new president, and of course, Dr. Benson and our administration as well, as we continue to build this program. You also said this, quote, I'm thankful for our coaching staff, support staff, and our players for believing in our vision, that is, and trusting what we are building here at Coastal Carolina. My family and I love this university and community, and we're excited to be a part of the Teal Nation for the years to come. Let me ask you this, Coach. What is your comprehensive commitment to the football program?
Well, my job is to put our players in the best position to be the most successful they can be, and that's on the field and off the field. I believe you got to use football as a means to an end, and these kids love football, but it's going to give them an opportunity to pursue a professional degree, pursue their livelihood beyond the football field. And so my job as the head coach is to put a program together that will help young people maximize their potential, but also hopefully do something where we maximize it on the field and we can bring positive notoriety to our university community. And that helps build our community, helps build our program, and helps build our university from a standpoint of knowing that, hey, if I'm a student and I enjoy what the football team does, how they play, how they represent us, maybe that brings more students and more fans to our university. So I see our part of this is there's a part. I'm not saying we have a huge part, but we do have a part in helping this program and this university grow. And the more that we can handle our business, it helps our whole university.
Absolutely. And what is your strategic investment when you think of the key infrastructure and facility needs within the football department?
Well, there's, you can, in college football specifically, it's an arms race from a standpoint of whether that's a weight room, new meeting rooms, whatever it may be. And we've made a good commitment there from our new stadium and the things that we're doing. But for us to continue to want to be consistent, it's about being consistent every day, and you don't want to be a team that's 11-1 and then, you're 2-8. The next year, you want to be consistent. Not saying you win 11 every year, but you want to be a consistent winner. And to do that, you have to have certain things in place to try to attract the top student athletes you can. And part of that is obviously from a facility standpoint. And so I'm excited about the direction we're heading and what we've already done. And I think we'll continue to build it in that way.
And what private support do you hope to get financially in the future?
Well, I hope that from what we've done this year and the way we play and the way our team plays and competes, I hope our community sees that they're doing it for a bigger purpose than just winning. They're doing it because they love their teammate and they want them to be successful. So I hope people in the community and around say, hey, you know what? I might not have a tie to Coastal, but I love what those people stand for, and I want to be able to help them continue to grow the program and enhance the student athletes experience.
That's exactly right. What do you prefer, Coach, the beach or the mountains?
Well, I grew up in the mountains. I grew up in Tennessee, so I'm used to the mountains. I really like the mountains, but there's something about those waves crashing. So for me, probably in the winter, I love the beach, and then probably in the fall, I like the change of scenery sometimes. Those mountains. So, but I'll tell you this: I wouldn't care either way. But the beach, I have grown fond with the beach, no doubt.
No doubt. Is Tennessee on your radar?
No, I love Tennessee. My family's there, and I grew up obviously a huge Tennessee fan, and wanted to play at Tennessee. I wasn't good enough, and so I love the state of Tennessee. I mean, I grew up a volunteer, and my family being there, and that place means a lot to me. But obviously, I made a commitment here, and I'm thankful to be the coach and what we're building here, and excited about that.
And you talk about building. How many more people do you want to add to your coaching staff?
Well, it's not necessarily building more to the coaching staff. It's just that you want to put a program where the foundation is rock solid. And again, this was only our second year of coaching, and really our first year of our full staff. So next year is our second year of our full staff being here. So we still got a lot of things that we got to put in place to secure. It's like building a house. You build a house on a foundation, you got to make sure that cement and that foundation is solid before you start building a house on it. Because if there's a crack, if there's any water in it, it can mess up. And so that's the same thing. Even though we look like we built a great house this year, you got to make sure that when the winds and the rain and all that stuff come, it's strong. Biblically, you got to make sure you don't build on sand, you build on the rock. Absolutely. And so that's the same thing. We got to continue to build it and build it the right way. And I really like the foundation we have in place. We got to make sure we continue to secure it.
America's football coach, Jamey Chadwell, thank you for your time. And again, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Quintin, I appreciate you very much. And we are America's team. Hopefully we can do it again next year.
Absolutely. Yes, indeed.